17 minutes past 6. Good to have you along. Have you experienced a toxic workplace? Yes or no? Vote on our website, theamshow.co.nz. A recent report reveals the amalgamation of urban and rural fire services is not the thrifty savings that was first promised. The merger has, in fact, delivered more cost to the taxpayer, but maybe it's a better service. Maybe it's a better service, not just about money. Joining us now is former National Rural Fire Officer Murray Dudfield. Murray, g'day, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Is it a better service that maybe just costs more? Could that be the answer?
Well, I think the backstory to it is, Duncan, that back in 2017, the PricewaterhouseCoopers report assessed that the $389 million budget that the fire service had then was adequate to undertake the functions and responsibilities that they had at that time. And of course, the Martin and Jenkins 2017 report, the local government was spending $29 million per year, and both urban and rural were seen to be providing adequate services, satisfactory services for that amount of money. So I'm not too sure why there's been such a huge increase.
Yeah, that was my next question. I mean, why do you think there has been a huge increase? I mean, where's the extra cost? Where can that be linked to, do you think?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question, Duncan. I think it's important that we understand where those additional costs are being incurred. Certainly the number of fires in the area burnt from rural fires back in prior to 2017 was trending downwards, so the fires weren't getting any worse than what they were prior to 2017. So, yeah, not really sure where that extra $200 million is being spent.
It's woefully out of whack, really, isn't it? Because the merger and the centralisation was meant to produce about almost $50 million in efficiency savings by next year. But in reality, it's cost taxpayers $338 million more in the first 3 years than was forecast to Cabinet in 2016. This is huge money. I mean, this is massive money. And do you expect someone to be held accountable? I would argue, no, of course they won't be.
I think there needs to be some serious questions asked, Duncan. I think, there is some points made in respect of perhaps some of the rural fire equipment was a little bit old, but of the 450 rural fire tankers and smoke chasers, only 12% of those were over 30 years. Now, if you put an extra $10 million a year over the next 4 years into upgrading that equipment, you'd be where you need to be. So I'm just not too sure where the $200 million extra that's been spent 3 years into a merged urban and rural fire service, where that $200 million is gone.
Yeah, if the government's
or is it going?
Yeah, if the government's going to do any review of anything, maybe review this very quickly, why it's happened, and follow the money. Very quickly, can New Zealanders, Murray, trust this fire and emergency outfit that we have today?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question. I think given that you've raised the fact that $200 million is being spent in year 3, I think some New Zealanders would like to answer that, or be asked that question as to whether they're getting better value for money than they were 3 years ago.
Something is odd, yeah, that's for sure. Good on you. Appreciate your time on the program. Former National Rural Fire Officer Murray Dudfield. It's 21 minutes past 6. Simon Bridges very, very shortly. The news is coming up in 9 minutes' time, but Bridges joins us very shortly amid more sort of rising tensions, I suppose, at Waitangi, but mainly with him and Winston, isn't it? He's next.